All right, then, President Bola Tinubu charging the new service chiefs on what is needed right now. He's giving them the order as the commander-in-chief of the armed forces to go after the enemy and clear them out. He said Nigeria is in a hurry to rejoice about its peace. Now, let's speak about this and get some perspective. I'm being joined by one man who thought that he could do better than President Bola Tinubu. He campaigned and he said he's better off and he has better ideas. But then now, he lost that election, but now let's get his views about the state of things in the country. He's the presidential candidate of the Social Democratic Party. Prince Adebayo is live for us here in our studio. Thanks so much, Prince Adebayo, for joining us tonight on the program.
It's a pleasure, Sean. Good to see you. God bless Nigeria.
God bless Nigeria, as always. What the president told those service chiefs today, go after them, cut them off, reduce them, make us happy. We need peace in this country. No more excuses. It looks like a charge that you hear from a leader who wants a result. Is that the kind of thing that you were expecting?
Yes, he's commander-in-chief. He's the #1 warrior for the country. And I know, of course, today is a ceremonial day, and the kind of charge is a general charge. I believe that in subsequent operational meetings, he will give operational orders to achieve it. But it's clear, Nigerian civil war lasted only 3 years. So there is no reason why we should be having almost 20 years, 18 years of, or 17 years of Boko Haram and all these insurgencies. And imagine if someone joined the army in 2009, the person would be a general now. And we haven't solved that problem. So it's a correct charge to give. And he needs to direct the armed forces properly. And I'm happy he says there should be no excuses, because every excuse will land on his own table, because the buck stops with him as the commander-in-chief. He's the one appointed the service chiefs. He's the one directing them. He's the one who they report to. And he has responsibility now to make sure that this insurgency, banditry, and general state of insecurity do not survive his administration. And he has less than 2 years to make this happen.
Do you think that we're living in a perilous time?
We've always lived in perilous times. The additional peril we have is poor governance. Imagine if the civil war happened under this present kind of leadership. It would be like Congo. So it is the moment that makes the man.
And I'm asking that question, Prince, with respect. I mean, today the first story came from Premium Times. And the military denied that nothing happened. A few days later, there was a reshuffling of the service chiefs. Now, the Premium Times is now putting names, title of officers they claim are involved in the alleged coup out there. And that's the reason why, as I was asking, if you were living in perilous time, we would have thought that nothing like that can ever happen in our country. And many years of some of us who saw military rule, those who paid the ultimate price, those who fled the country, those who lost a lot because of the military junta. And now we're hearing this kind of news. And that's the question, really.
Well, you see, first, democracy is fragile. Whether you have the extreme thwarting of it by elements of the military creating a junta and coming to harass the rest of the country, or they don't want free and fair election, they don't want an open space, and they clamp down on citizens. Everywhere in the world, democracy is fragile and is to be protected. And the best insurance against a disturbance, disruption, military coup, breakdown of law and order is good governance. And the lesson to learn from this, why I am waiting for the military and the civilian authorities in government to come up with a clear accountability of what happened and what is happening. But what I know for sure is that all of us have a duty to know that this civilian system, we need to sustain it, and it is fragile. And the fact that you are in government doesn't mean that you are safe from being upset. Just the way there is insecurity of lives and property for Nigerians, there may soon be insecurity of tenure for the political class. So if the lesson to learn from that is that we will now be a little more sensitive to the will of the people, we'll be more responsive to the needs of the people, and we will take care of our people to make them contented. But I don't think that there is any justification whatsoever. I'm a #1 critic of the bad performances of the government and their inability to meet the aspirations of Nigerians. But I can tell you, having lived under the military, I was born under Gawan's administration, and I've gone through military in my adult life, and I was a major activist against military rule. I can tell you, nothing good can come out of military rule. So it is not an option for us.
Why do you think that anybody in the military might be attracted to think that any Nigerian will embrace or hug the concept of a coup d'etat?
Well, you see, everybody is a product of their history. Many may not be too young, whether in uniform or outside uniform. They may be too young to understand. If someone was 20 years old in 1999, he will be 46 years old now. And he might be a major, a colonel, or whatever. If he was 10 years old, he will probably be a lieutenant or becoming a captain now. So that, I don't know, but because I don't want to speculate, I know that a government will not hide a coup d'etat. There may be tactical or other security reasons why the government is quiet about it. They may be doing investigation of it, and when they are through, they will now come up with it. But on a general concept, on a general principle, people may forget what the history with military government was. People might be thinking that because the political class has abandoned the people, practically, and are living ostentatiously in front of the people, and they have total disregard for the will of the people, that the people will be angry and they will take any alternative. So, but it doesn't work that way, because that was the mistake of the 5 majors when they had their coup. The first day, everybody was rejoicing in Kaduna and welcoming Nzeogu and all of that. But a week later, people started having a buyer's remorse, and in a matter of months, we were already having genocide and working towards civil war. So I don't think anyone should come and upset the civilian system, and I take it upon myself to warn Nigerians that even though we criticize the government, we have an option for you. If you don't like the government of the day, as I don't like the government of the day, go to the ballot box, vote for another person, vote them out. And if they make voting themselves out more difficult, then we become more of advocates, we come on and push for electoral reform, but don't join anybody in the notion that a few people gang up and they are going to take over the government. You're going to have bloodshed.
Are you thinking that this government is not doing well?
I'm not thinking. I know. The evidence shows that they're not doing well.
But the economy seems to be, there are some positives in the indices of the economy.
I understand the economy has been very good to journalists, but you see, when you look at
journalists,
I mean, I assume that's why you're talking like that, because if you are
at the indices, let's look at the numbers. I have a feeling that you have a good grasp of economy.
Yes.
And the index is not good. The macroeconomic index is not looking good.
There are 2 things.
Yeah.
In the academy of economics.
Yeah.
We look at numbers, trends, indicators. In the real life, people look at their lived experience. And politics is based on lived experience.
The macroeconomic,
the actual feeling
the reality
of the people.
Yeah.
Yes, because anything that moves, for example, if you grow your GDP from 3% to 4.5%, right from World Bank to anybody, to any university, will clap for you. But 2 things may happen. The lived experience of the people may not see it. There may also be lag. There's what's called data lag. So you have a change that has not percolated to the people. And what's going to happen? What's going to happen is that the people will feel that nothing has improved in their situation. And in the case of Nigeria, there are low-hanging fruits. There are measures that the government can take to make life more meaningful to the people. There is a way they can repurpose and redirect their budget to make sure that critical intercessions in the lives of the people, which has to do with the primary needs of the people, food, clothing, shelter, healthcare, education, and transportation, that you deal with all these issues. If you don't deal with them, if people's house rents go up, so imagine a particular person who goes home, finds a letter from his landlord saying your rent has increased, gets a letter from the school that the school fees for his children has increased, gets a note from the wife that the amount you gave me last month for food is not enough now, takes the child to the hospital, finds out that he has to pay more money, and on his way to the hospital, he has to go and buy fuel. The fuel is higher than before, or he takes public transport, he pays more. There is no amount of economics you can tell the person. He's lived experience every juncture of his life.
But is this Tinubu's problem or Tinubu's fault? That those who said Tinubu and his government walked into a problem, already say a trap, an economy trap. And the man is taking some very hard decision and to change the narrative, a tough decision that other leaders, and that's the narrative that this government has painted to Nigeria, to say, look, we have walked into a terrible, terrible, terrible situation. If we do not work things around, we're going to head for a disaster. And now the man has done this, and you're still not satisfied that he's taking a tough decision and it's going to take a bit of a time for things to get better.
You see, first, I am running for president now. How can I complain in 2027 that Tinubu gave me a bad deal? I'm seeing it. I know what I'm working towards. He was part of the APC. You cannot count the APC leaders. After Buhari, you have to mention his name.
But if things are not going the way you think it should, does it make Tinubu a bad president?
No. What it means is that he has bad results. He may be a good... I look at him, the way he talks, the way I don't know him too well, the way he talks, the way he behaves, he looks like a good person. But we are not a shortage of good people in government. It's the good result we don't have. So you can't send your child to school and the child comes with F9 parallel. And they say, oh, the teacher is a great teacher, he can teach well.
So is this government a failure?
With capital F, I think so. They're failure in many things. Even for things they said. You said renew hope. They can't even pay the renewal fee of the hope. The hope expired. So you cannot leave people stranded. There are, from what I see, even with the fiscal situation that they've created, if they had used 1/3 of the savings to deal with the emergency situation, then they can now follow the long-term trajectory. Because in economics, just like in history, we have periodization. In economics, you have time scale. You have the immediate, you have the medium term, the immediate is short term, you have the medium term, you have the long term. When I'm analyzing the short term, you cannot be telling me about the long term. It's like a student who is doing continuous assessment, and assessment is 20%, and he scores 3 out of 20. And he said, don't worry, sir, during the exam, I'm going to make it up.
So you're painting a picture as though this, because there is a lot of confidence that this government and this president and this party will win by wide margin in 2027, and they are confident that things will get better. But what you are painting is that this government and this president is not even electable in 2027. That's the kind of painting that you are, the narrative. But you see people defecting the APC, and they say that it's because the president is doing well and they want to support him. That's why they are going there. Okay. But you are painting a different picture. Is that fair? Okay.
The way I'm interacting with you as your guest is not the way the audience watching the TV, watching us on TV, going to interact. It's not the same way the guy who supplies camera to you. So everybody has a way of interacting with the government. If you are a government contractor, if you are part of the government, if you are an appointee of the government, if you are in the political party and you are the leadership, you have a way to assess the government. But are we going to shut out the way ordinary Nigerians assess the government? I don't speak for the governors, because the governors are swimming in money, though they are dry of ideas. And they are going to work with the president because the president is cooperating with them. Is allowing them to go on with their fiscal rascality. Is allowing them to be floating around and not doing, because he is looking at them as political assets. He has his right. But the ordinary person who has to feed his family, a graduate who needs a job, or those who have a job and they need living wages, people who are confronted with healthcare, a family that has children in school, and you are giving them student loan, and the ASU is on strike. So the loan, they are owing the government money, and then the education has stopped. So when you look at all of that, I am not saying, for example, that people who are enjoying the government, the minority, have no right to praise the government, because that's the perspective that they see. But I represent the Social Democratic Party, a party of common men, ordinary people, and I have to speak for them. And the ordinary man is not interested in how many governors cross to your side. He's interested in, can he get a job? Can he be safe? So if you, in spite of all of these problems, you still get captured on the road. First, the roads are bad. There's bad road everywhere, except you haven't traveled anywhere. There are bad roads. Now, you have bad roads, and then you are kidnapped on the road. You have to go and sell your property to pay the kidnapper. Despite the BVN, NIN, and all sorts of things that we've had, kidnappers are still collecting money, including from a staff of mine only yesterday. So this lived experience of people is what we are bringing, and it's a good balance, because those who are on the government side, those who are benefiting from it, those who are on the academic perspective of it, they have to balance their experience with the feedback I'm giving on behalf of the people.
Quickly, I'd like us to wrap up on this note. So the government now says it's going to impose a 15% import duty on refined petroleum products. And there are those who are in the local market applauding it, that these will help the local market. Of course, some of the statistics reads that that Nigeria is still not able to meet, it's meeting just about less than 40% of domestic needs. Between August 2024 and October this year, Nigeria imported roughly 13 billion liters of gasoline, about 64% of its needs.
They are full of contradictions. Number one, we have 2 refineries in Port Harcourt, built, and we're spending so much money on it. We have 1 refinery in Warri, where we built it and we are spending a lot of money on it. We have in Kaduna, we built it and we're spending a lot of money on it. They haven't made these refineries to work. So that's number one question before you start to put tariff on who. And if you put 15% tariff on imported petrol, who is going to pay for it? It's going to be the person who buys the petrol at the fueling station. So what are you doing? You are the reason why we cannot meet our domestic consumption. The president is the Minister of Petroleum. What kind of chaotic system is this?
But there are those who think that this decision, although it might not be immediate in action in terms of how practical it will be, but there are those who say this is the right decision to take to encourage local production.
No, President Tinubu is a clever tax collector. He wants to collect tax from you for everything, including oxygen tax, very soon if you are not careful.
Because you mean the air we breathe in?
Yes, because
Tinubu will tax the air.
Just give him time. He's going to get there.
Is that even fair to say that the
for example, we gave you refineries to manage. You appointed yourself Minister of Petroleum. We spent billions on turnaround maintenance. You are not making refineries to work. You are the reason why we are importing. Now, because you are importing, you went from, I'm not paying subsidy. Okay, now we are net zero. Nobody pays subsidy. You now want to surcharge me for your own inefficiency. Am I the reason why refineries are not working?
So that decision is a poor one.
It is an anti-people decision, and it's a trend in the new Tinubu. Tinubu that used to be in SDP, that was following Abiola everywhere, doing Hope 93. It practically has changed to the side of the money people. They are looking, they see you as a customer. They don't see you as a citizen. They look at you and looking for everything to collect money from you. Right. If you have twins in your house, if you have twins and triplets in your house, Tinubu is going to think of twins tax, multiple child birth tax. So he's just thinking on how to collect more money for the war chest. It is wrong. What he needs to do is to call Heineken, Lokobiri, and call the Ojulari and say, I want those refineries to work.
All right.
I give you 6 months, and I want to reduce fuel importation to 0. Now, there's a private refinery that is going to almost 1.4 billion barrels. Why are they going to 1.4 billion barrels from 650,000 barrels a day, Dangote? It's because they see that there's a market for what they are producing. What are the other smaller refineries that are coming up? What are the what are they with the modular one?
All right.
You cannot crush the people because you want to make money. I don't agree with that at all.
Prince Adebayo was the presidential candidate of the SDP in the 2023 election. Thank you so much for being on the program tonight.
Thank you, and God bless Nigeria.